2004, Chicago radio broadcaster Studs Terkel published a best-selling compilation of interviews with a cross-section of people talking about their jobs. For this production, we also spoke to local workers to gain insight into today's jobs and the people who do them.
Terkel called working the extraordinary dreams of ordinary people.
These are their words.
The mason singing,
The waitress singing, the mill worker singing, the manager singing,
The fireman singing,
each one singing, the teacher,
the trucker,
the nanny, the housewife. I hear America singing, America singing.
pick it up.
I feel like
And
Tom.
put it
any
down.
man who works with his hands, I think takes pride. Any man who works with his hands, I think takes pride. Man.
Hey somebody, don't you wanna hear the story of my life? One of them movie companies, TV documentaries. Won't you come and ask me, please? And pay me $1 million to tell you what I do at the store. 'Cause if you pay me $1 million, I wouldn't have to go and do it no more.
1, 2, 3, 4. Just like the song say, all the live long day. Everybody gonna know that song. Working for a living the whole day long. All the live long day. Hey somebody, won't you turn your head? Take a look my way. We're getting old and I tell you, getting old ain't nothing new. So get with you. We will hope how Monday. Shine and be shine on shine Monday. And another cup of coffee, get the juices flowing. Another cup of coffee, get the juices flowing. Another cup of coffee, get the juices flowing. 1, 2, 3, get going. Just like the song say, all the live long day. Everybody done know that song. Working for a living the whole day long. All the live long. Just like the song say, all the live long day. Just like the song say, all the live long day. Just like the song say, all the live long day. Just like the song say, all the live long day. Everybody done know that song. Working for a living the whole day long. All the live long day.
I'm a dying breed, a laborer, strictly muscle work.
By trade, I'm a civil engineer. But when my wife introduces me to her friends, I tell them I lay brick.
Which isn't true. I just get a kick out of it.
I've lived in the US for approximately 16 years. After I got here, the first thing I started doing was remodeling construction.
Pick it up, put it down. Pick it up, put it down. Pick it up, put it down. Typically, in the morning, you wait at the shanty until 7 o'clock. You go in at 7 and you start walking your way up the ladder, climbing the steel. Every 2 floors, you plank it off. Then you disconnect the bottom of the mast and you tie it to the boom on top of the choking cable. Then you do the same thing and you pick up the other side.
All my friends went into construction. I always told them that sounds like an amazing thing, because you actually get to see something happen instead of just looking at some spreadsheets.
I started working structural steel when I was 18 years old. Yeah, I've worked on towers probably 1,000 feet high. You know, most people are afraid of heights like that, so automatically every iron worker has an ego. You know, you're doing something that somebody else can't do. And you get to wear a tool belt. Yeah, when you're a kid, 18 years old, and you've got the wrenches in like a holster, woo, you're like a cowboy.
When I was a kid, I wanted to be a pilot. That's what I aspired to be when I was a child. But in the end, things changed. Now I do roof renovations instead of flying high in airplanes.
You know, I always knew I was going to be an iron worker. My older brothers were iron workers, and my father was an iron worker, so it was a natural course of events. My father was very disappointed I didn't go to college.
I didn't finish university because I came here because people talked wonders about the United States. People from my town told different stories, beautiful stories, about how much money and profit you would make. It's not easy, it's been stressful, but I've achieved my goals, and every day I try to learn new and different things.
I don't know why it's made so blue collar. Work isn't something to strive for anymore. I find there's something nice about being able to do the honest work and the hard work and then go home.
We had a college boy at work this summer. And one time he saw a book in my back pocket and he was amazed. Yeah, he says to me, "You read?" Now that's what can get to you. The non-recognition by other people. To say that a man is just a laborer, a woman is just a waitress, it bothers you sometimes. Some mornings, I look across the skyline for a building I helped work on, say that office building over there. See that building? Yeah, I helped build it. And I know there's some guy sitting in his corner office behind his $5,000 desk, and he is never going to think about me. But yeah, I think about him sometimes.
Amanda, where is that P&L report?
It's on your desk.
Why is it not in my hand?
I'm a project manager. I'm here at work at 7:30 a.m. I leave at 8 p.m. In between my meetings, I answer messages and emails, and I try to avoid my boss. You always have a boss. Sometimes you have an okay boss, and sometimes you have a Satan boss. Oh, he's not behind me, is he? I wish these walls were like a little bit higher. I've been in a lot of different cubicles. I've been in half-height cubes, I've been in high-wall cubes. Listen, the way things are these days, I'm happy to be in any cubicle at all. I have friends who would kill for this job, for any job. But my mentality is totally different than the people who are 20 years older than me, the lifers. I have no real sense of loyalty because I know that they have a business to run and they'll lay me off if it's prudent. I accept that. I don't perceive anyone my age thinks, I got my first job here. I got a job for life. What they feel is, all right, I'm going to make as much money as I can from this job and then I'm going to move on and get more money. This is the first job of many.
First job, I smell like a burger. The register is easy. Hey, you want a burger? I hit the picture of the burger. Every day the same old thing. Hello, chicken nugget, quarter pounder. I wait for that phone to ring, that phone to ring. The phone at the end of the counter. When I see the manager writing down an order. When I see the manager making change. When I see the manager writing an address, I whisper, yes, give me some change and send me on my way. Fresh air and exercise, and sometimes I throw in some extra fries. We're calling it in today, my world is gray until they send me away on a delivery. And the wind is in my hair. No one's watching me, I can wander anywhere. The food is getting cold, and so I'll do as I am told. Responsibilities, I have responsibilities. See, my father sits at home, he doesn't work anymore. While my mother works a double shift at the department store. And it's nice not having to ask for money. And it's nice not having to ask for dinner. It's nice on nights when you have to get away. I go to work every day, I'm putting money away. Hey, you know what they say, slow and steady. I'm working minimum wage, it's pretty good for my age. I'll be ready to go wherever I gotta go. The destiny leads me, but now the restaurant feeds me and my family needs me. Delivery, customers always right.
There's my delivery, my delivery.
Thanks for getting me out of the house tonight.
There's my delivery.
Keep the order straight, and I say sorry if I'm late.
You're late.
Some extra napkins for your plate for making you wait. That'll be
$12.98. Delivery.
I can wander out of range.
My delivery, my delivery.
Towards a future new and strange.
My delivery.
The shop is just a start, but wait, I haven't told you my favorite part. It's when they pay, and then they say,
Fuck it, keep the change.
Keep the change. Keep the change. Keep the change. Keep the change. Keep the change.
if I did, I keep the change. I save a little every day. This job's gonna deliver me far away. And I'll look back on this and say, thank God for delivery.
I like to work. Some people enjoy tennis. I enjoy work. I enjoy being a leader. I enjoy being the guy everybody looks to. I like the responsibility of having a team of people working for me. You know, in our world of money, money management is still the sexiest job there is. Money is hot. True story, they did a study that found just looking at a Maserati made girls produce twice as many hormones as normal. Oh, yeah. Hey, if someone wants to call me a predator, capitalist tool, modern robber baron, take it as a compliment. Abso-fucking-lutely. I mean, that's what this country is about. The free market. It's not perfect, but if they would leave it alone, it would sure as hell correct itself better than any regulator can. Some companies will go away, some people will lose jobs, and some people will lose money. But that's just basic capitalism. Who developed America? Was it the regulators, the SEC? Or was it the Mellons, the Rockefellers? I mean, tell me what they did so bad. Rockefeller exploited some people in the copper fields. Maybe he shot some of them. Fine, not perfect, but who benefited? There's still Standard Oil, isn't there? Mellon's Bank is still around. These were the giants who built our cities, who built our country. Unless you have winners, you cannot have losers. So I gotta take this. Yeah? Really? This is Rex One Ship? Yeah. Okay. Give me 5 minutes? Yeah, all right, cool. Look, I'm gonna have to cut this short. I gotta get back on the phone before the markets close overseas. You know, everyone works long hours these days. Kid who wants to make it, he's gotta be willing to work long hours. And he's gotta know how to outsmart the regulators to make a profit. It's easy, Christ, if you can't outsmart one little government staff, you shouldn't come to work in the morning. You know, I should be a teacher. I always wanted to teach. It's what I'd like to do when I get tired of all this. Get involved with young people. Pass along my knowledge, my experience, my values.
My name is Rose Hoffman. I teach 3rd grade. Teaching is a profession I loved and still love. It's been my ambition ever since I was 8. You know, I used to think that teachers had golden toilets and they didn't do anything as normal people did.
When I need to be uplifted, all I have to do is walk into the cafeteria during kindergarten lunch. You walk in there and you feel like Beyonce. And the kids will say, "Oh, look, it's Cookie Monster." That's their little nickname for me. You walk in there and the kids will come up to you like you're a celebrity and they'll hug you and they'll joke around with you. There are few things so successful like that at lifting my spirits.
I love being with the kids. The kids are always like the biggest pro of everything that I'm doing. Even when they drive me crazy, they're still the #1 reason why I come to work every day. The cons, they seem to be growing lately. It's just having to deal with the bureaucraticness of teaching, documenting everything and getting all the paperwork done and making sure you're communicating with the parents and your other team members and the other people in your department. It's a challenge, but it's necessary. Totally recognize that it's necessary, but the biggest thing is making sure that everything we're doing is for the kids and it's beneficial for the kids.
I tell my kids, Mrs. Hoffman's here, everybody works. Working is a blessing. It used to be I had 18 to 20 children in my class who stayed from the beginning bell to the very end. Today I have 37, and the children come in on their cell phones and then scatter to other classrooms.
The students post-COVID...
Don't get me started.
This is crazy.
The students post-COVID don't have as much respect as they used to, because when they were learning on camera, they could be talking to someone outside and be listening with one ear, but they weren't really listening. So when they came back to school, they continued that. And now if they're having a conversation, they don't completely recognize that there's someone in front of the room talking.
That's when you have to raise your voice to get their attention. They don't know how to listen, and nobody's teaching them how to listen.
That these children think they know everything. Well, everything about computers.
There are a lot of great benefits to integrating technology into the education landscape. There's some drawbacks for sure. Constant access to your computer isn't always great for your mental health. I think students get to school and other than gym, they're on their screens 5-6 hours a day. And then they go home and they're on their phones, right? And then they're on their phone in between classes. Too much screen time is definitely a thing.
I grew up in a world where technology has been so tightly integrated. I'm used to integrating it into my classroom by now. But teachers who have been working for a while went from overhead projectors, those plastic things, and all paper to an 80 to 90% digital world. That's just such a drastic turnout. Like, I see my coworkers who are on the older side, who are on the learning curve with this technology, who are still having to ask for help.
My classroom was always a showcase. In those days we did it ourselves, with colorful pictures and charts on the wall, a snowman in winter, a pumpkin in fall, and all my supplies were in neat little piles on the shelf. My children were always respectful. When I said class attention, they froze. If I had to leave for a minute or two, they always found something constructive to do. And all of them called me Miss Hoffman, not, God forbid, Rose. But manners don't seem to apply anymore. Say quiet down and they ask you what for. One simple request sparks a nuclear war, and insults on Instagram now. They want me to teach in a classroom like that, but nobody tells me how.
Remember Fortnite? My students in 2018, 2019 were used to going home at 3 o'clock and then playing video games until 11 or midnight. They were sort of used to a level of dopamine that as a teacher you just couldn't compete with. And their behavior was always kind of crummy. And that made me really grumpy.
I struggle with the new age of student who doesn't want to work hard. We're in such an information-based era. Everything is so instantaneous and at our fingertips. And when it involves any level of critical thinking or problem solving, it's just met with whining and resistance. I made a big thing about spelling, but they learned by the time I was through. They copied the words till they knew them by heart. 10 times for the dumb ones and twice for the smart. And gold stars were given to those who made sentences too. But who needs to spell when you're texting all day? Spell check is OMG, awesome, they'll say. Like iPads to add and subtract because, hey, a pencil's for dinosaurs now. The way I've been teaching for 40-some years is no longer effective, or so it appears. Well, damn it, it worked for me then, so what's wrong with it now? They say I'm supposed to keep up with the times, but nobody ever tells me
Some people think that this is an easy job because they get paid less than other people and we have summers off and we have different hours than them, but I think that what they don't understand is that not all of the work happens in the building, and there's a ton of stuff that gets taken home after school and stuff we do outside of school to prepare for what we do in the building.
But we do it for the kids, right? Everything for the kids. You know, there's this one little girl who stands out in my mind in all my years of teaching. My favorite, Maria. She was never very bright, but she was never any trouble. And, you know, I see her every once in a while now, and she still gives no trouble today. She has the same smile for everyone.
As a barista, you don't just get to do one job. They tell you what's happening kind of as the rush comes in. So in the morning, I might be working food, and then in the middle of the day, when things die down, I might start prepping it like the whipped cream bottles or something. And then at night, I'm on drive-thru. So I have a turn at like every job on shift. And after you start to do that over and over and over again, you get pretty good at it.
After college, I wasn't exactly sure what route I wanted to take career-wise. Something that's always been at the forefront is, where can I make a positive change, or where can I make a positive impact?
Working as a barista was a really positive time for me. I enjoyed who I worked with, and even though during the shifts things could go wrong, or it could get stressful, or, you know, some customers and even some coworkers could be annoying, at the end of the day, we were kind of like one big family, and we would get through it together.
So I coached high school lacrosse. I worked in North Carolina in mixed-use real estate and interior design. I just tried to absorb all the information that my coworkers were willing to share with me and just show me the ropes.
When my manager was brand new, she was still kind of learning the ropes and how to schedule people and meet everybody's needs while also meeting the needs of the store. And I think she was really down on herself. And I remember I saw her in the back room where the office was with her head in her hands, and she was saying, I don't think I'm doing a good job. Maybe I shouldn't be in this role. What am I doing? And I told her, Melissa, I know things are tough right now, and you're trying to make everybody happy, and sometimes you can't. But the thing you're doing here does matter. It leaves a positive impact on the team and our lives, because it's like a ripple effect.
For me, team was such an important part of my life, whether it's in sports or my family or my job. I just try to look at every situation as, this is my team. We get to, win together and lose together. We get to go through the tough times and, celebrating all of these successes as well. And I think just being able to look at every situation like that, it's brought a different kind of fulfillment to my life, because it's replaced the me mentality and really made me focus on the we.
And that made me think, what I do matters too. So, overall, I'd say I'd really enjoyed my time working at Starbucks. It was kind of a thrill.
Now, if you want to have a thrill, there's no comparison, not even to a jet plane, to climbing onto that big old steel truck and heading out there on that damn Ryan Expressway. The moment you climb onto that truck, you forget about the wife and kids, you just kiss goodbye, and the adrenaline starts pumping. Breaking number 9, big buddy, put your ears on for me now. Big truck has gotta have a big light. So come on, brother trucker, you gotta come back, motherfucker. Keep seeing double as I close one eye. I got to roll, brother trucker. Showing up shame about the shape I'm in. Roll, brother trucker. I'm back on my wheels again. Roll, brother trucker. Outward bound from the South Bay. Roll, brother trucker. I'm back on my wheels again. I'm running out of wise. God damn them headlights. 4 hours sleep in the last 2 nights. But I'm gonna be alright. I got to roll, brother trucker. I say where and you say where. I say roll, brother trucker. I'm back on my wheels again. Roll, brother trucker. Back it up and do it again. Roll, brother trucker. I'm back on my wheels again. You're gone for a week, 2 weeks, picking up a load at one port, dropping it off to another. You're gone so damn long, and you sit in that truck, your only companionship is your own thoughts. So yeah, we truckers fantasize something tremendous. So you turn up the radio. And you think about the girl behind that voice. You build up something in your mind until you begin to believe it. Moon over New Jersey, big state police. I'm in a hurry. Won't you let me go in peace? I'm independent. I ain't got no teams to go. Cause the AFL and the CIO, they still don't own the road.
And the only man telling me where to go is the man who owns the road.
Whoa, 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 brother trucker. I say where and you say when. Whoa, 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 brother trucker. I'm back to my wheels again. I said, whoa, 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 brother trucker. Outward bound from the South Bend. Whoa, 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 brother trucker. I'm back to my wheels again. Brother, I'm back on my wheels again. Whoa, 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 brother trucker. Backing on up and do it again. Roll, 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 brother trucker. I'm back on my wheels again. Brother, I'm back on my wheels again. Coming home to your wife can be sort of a letdown. You know, she has to raise the kids, fight off the bill collectors. Can't even count on her own damn husband to be at a first communion or a graduation. When you do get home, you're so tired, you'd much rather be sleeping than getting ready to go out on a Saturday night. I make 4 round trips to Baltimore, come within, 4 blocks of my house, and I never go home. Easier just to keep on going. So you call your wife and tell her you won't be back. Hey, honey, I'm just calling to tell you. Hello? Fucking phone company piece of shit.
Hello, this is Verizon Tech Support. This is Rod speaking. How may I help you?
This number isn't working. I got like 5 bars.
I'm so sorry to hear that. May I have the number of the line you were calling?
667-621-6242.
I'm sorry, sir. It seems that all the circuits in your area are busy.
What? Jesus, I can't understand a thing you're saying. Hell is wrong with you guys?
I'm sorry, sir. Why don't you try waiting 5 minutes, then placing your call again? You think they'd be grateful to be talking to a live person rather than an AI chatbot? See, there's a really temptation when you're in this chair to talk to the people and say, gee, what the hell is the matter with you? But you really can't say anything more than, I'm sorry you're having trouble. You can't really talk to the customers. If you get caught talking, that's 1 strike. 3 strikes and... I once had a woman say to me, operator, I'm lonesome. Would you talk to me? All I could say was, gee, I'm sorry. I just can't. But you can't. I'm a communications expert, and I can't communicate.
So I always thought of a receptionist as the woman at the front desk taking the phone messages. Now I'm one. So, of course, I had to change my opinion. She had to be special, right? Because I'm so special. I was fine until we had this office party. I'd be having a fairly intelligent conversation with someone when they'd ask me what I did. When I'd say, I'm a receptionist, they'd make up an excuse and walk away. Now I come up with other names for what I do. Communications control, entry management. I'm tired at the end of the day, tired of talking.
My mouth gets tired because you talk constantly for 6 hours straight with a 10-minute break
in the day that's quiet.
You can't think about it.
What I do all day is say what I have to say as quickly as possible and switch the call to whoever it's going to.
You're in the room the size of a
I notice
gymnasium,
people have asked me to slow down when I'm
talking to
talking.
people thousands of miles away.
Do I listen in on phone conversations?
I never listen in on phone conversations.
But let me tell you, some people really do. I once worked for AT&T and all the girls used to listen in on phone conversations. I don't care who you are.
Especially when
if you work at night and it's late, you're gonna listen in on phone conversations.
Yeah, you'll sit there and listen and laugh until there's tears rolling down your face. It makes the day go faster.
Sometimes to make the day go faster, I'll do drawings, laundry and sort of things. Never people. I like to pretend I'm alone and it's quiet. I call it the land of no phone.
I
never
never
answer the phone at home.
Hello? Oh, I'm sorry. No, thank you. My husband gets the phone at the office. He gets the paper at the office and I read it online. No, I don't have an office. I don't work. I mean, I work. Of course I work. It's just, I don't have a job. Anyway, thanks for the offer. I'm a stay-at-home mom. I guess in my Mother's Day, they would have called me a housewife. That's funny. It's not like I sit around the house watching reality TV all day. I have a lot of work to do. You just want something more exciting to talk about at a dinner party, you know? Something that matters. What I do only matters to 3 people. All I am is just a housewife. Nothing special, nothing great. What I do is kinda boring. If you'd rather, it can wait. All I am is someone's mother. All I am is someone's wife. All of which seems unimportant. All it is just my life. Do the laundry, wash the dishes, take the dog out, clean the house, shop for groceries, look for specials. God, it sounds so Mickey Mouse. Drop the kids off, pick the shirts up, try to lose weight, try again. Keep the troops fed, pick their things up, lose your patience. Count to 10. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. All I am is just a housewife, just a housewife. Nothing great. What I do is out of fashion. What I feel is out of date. All I am is someone's mother. Right away I'm not too bright. What I do is unfulfilling. So the TV talk shows tell me every night. I don't mean to complain at all, but they make you feel like you're 2 feet tall when you're just a wife, just a housewife. All they see are the pots and pans and the Pepsi cans of a person's life. You're always if you go to work, but you're just a jerk if you say you won't. Just a housewife. People say that they think it's fine if the choice is mine, but you know they don't. What I do, what I choose to do, may be dumb to you, but it's not to me. Is it dumb that they need me there? Is it dumb to care? 'Cause I do, you see. And I mean, did you ever think, really stop to think what a job it was? Doing all the things that a housewife does. I'm afraid it's unimpressive. All I am is someone's mother. Unexciting. What I do is unexciting. Kind of dull. Take the kids here, take the kids there. I don't mean to complain at all. Busy, busy. Every day. Like my mother. All I am is just a housewife.
UPS!
You don't just jump up behind someone and scream.
Sorry.
It's all right. Thank you.
Thank you, ma'am. Sorry, ma'am. Okay, look. You have to make some excitement for yourself, you know? Where is he? Where is he? I've been bit once already by a Doberman. That's the biggest part of a dog's day, when the UPS man comes. So, when a dog comes running out of its little door, you juke him and you kick him down the porch steps. And while it's lying there looking around like, you jump over him and run like hell to the next house. Just gotta pray that they don't have a Ring camera. Yeah, that's the big subject of conversation with us, you know? Dogs and women. If you have a nice-looking babe, it kind of brightens your day. We have a code we put in the system. We put a Q, stands for cutie. If you see a nice-looking honey laying out there in her backyard in a two-piece bathing suit, she'll be laying there on her stomach, top strap undone. If you go there and you scare her good enough, she'll jump up. It gives you something to do. It adds excitement to the day. UPS!
We thought we were going to a better job because we were tired of being out in the trees. So when they said, oh, there's a job grading tomatoes, we thought we were gonna be in a big building, you know, sitting down and grading, you know. Oh no, when we got there to the orchard, way out there, we drove about an hour because we were way out there. And they said, okay, park your cars here and jump on the truck. And there was the truck and we had to jump on the back. And then they took us out to the field, and there was what looked like a dinosaur out there, a big machine. And they said, okay, get on that and they'll tell you what to do. There's steps and you go up. No seats, you're standing. And then there are these long rows and it gets to the end and it gets to the end and it goes back around to another row.
And 1963, it was the last year the Braceros came from Mexico. ¿Te lo puedes recordar?
Braceros was the pact with Mexico to save farm labor in the U.S. Braceros, strong arms.
Un mejor día vendrá. Un mejor día vendrá. Cuando Dios a los pobres un lugar dará. Cuando madura la tarde, vuelvo cansado a mi hogar. Y soñando en un futuro, olvido dolor y pesar.
I was working with them, picking tomato on the ground. My knees and everything goes on the ground. They pay 17 cents a box of 15 pounds of tomatoes.
And it was good that they had los braceros back then. It's better than what's going on now, ¿verdad? I wish they had implemented another program.
¿Dónde se ha ido mi vida? ¿Dónde se ha ido mi juventud? Perdidas en las palabras que el viento me trae, un día mejor vendrá.
And the workers work muy duro, very hard.
Mucho sol.
El sol, no hay sombra para tomar nuestros breaks. To take our breaks, we would have to go to find where the cars were parked, and that would give us shade. We sat under the trucks to get a little shade. We took our break and our lunch there. We ate on the floor there. It was hard, but it was the life that we knew, and we were happy in our life like that. We
were happy.
Cuando estás en una vida así, por eso no se te hace dura, porque es una vida que estás viviendo en tu época. Cuando ya ahorita ya van a trabajar, uf, es un infierno.
When you're in a life like that, it doesn't seem hard because it's the life that you're living at the time. Now you go to work and it's un infierno. But now it's easier.
¿Dónde se ha ido mi vida? ¿Dónde se ha ido mi juventud? Perdidas en las palabras que el viento me trae, un día mejor vendrá.
Ya ahorita los que van a trabajar al campo les llevan agua, les ponen un lugar donde hacer del baño, les llevan un lugar donde hacerse debajo de la sombra.
Now, those that go to work in the fields, they bring them water, a place to use the restroom, they give them somewhere to stay in the shade.
And before, there was none of that. You went to the bathroom and you had to run very far so no one would look at you.
No había baños, there were no bathrooms. You would have to find a ditch and go there, and if there was no shade, there was nowhere.
Cuando Dios a los pobres un lugar dará.
I worked with a guy on the site once. He didn't speak much English, he didn't speak much Spanish either. He just didn't speak. So he's quiet, about 4'6". I love him, man. He was great. So I asked him, hey, would you like to make a little extra money? I have this glass door in between me and you. We could install it. He said yes. We got us some Chipotle. I got a few words out of him. And then we finished. Recently, my wife and I had moved, and I was looking around my house, and I was like, this could use a little bit of remodeling. So I thought, why don't I call up my guy? Then I found out he had been deported, which means he's no longer in the US. He's never done anything wrong. He's just this little 4'6" guy trying to make a living, who loved his family and his job. Now they're not here. No one is. It was a hard one to digest.
Un mejor día vendrá. Un mejor día vendrá. Cuando Dios a los pobres un lugar dará.
If there are trees, the trees have to be at a certain height, and there are ladders. When we were working, the trees were so tall, you'd have to climb up all the way, sometimes until the last branch. Like cherries, many people fell.
Un mejor día vendrá. Un mejor día vendrá. Cuando Dios a los pobres un lugar dará.
Es diferente la vida ya a lo que era antes.
I see. They're getting it better now. They're getting better pay. We got 60 cents a bucket, I think, of cherries. That was their policy.
My company has a policy that we have to be on site for 3 days a week. So, any given week, I get to work 2 days from home.
I work in a luggage factory. I'm at the mill 40 hours a week. We make suitcases.
I have a lot of freedom in my role generally, but especially with my team, we have morning meetings every day. So, when I get to work from home, I get to focus much more on my actual job responsibilities rather than helping the rest of the team with kind of the administrative stuff, like helping with work or trying to acquire materials, things like that.
The tank I work at is 6 foot deep, 8 foot square. In 40 seconds, you have to take the wet felt out of the filter, put the blanket on to draw out the excess moisture, weight 2,
3 seconds. Take the blanket off, pick the wet felt up and balance it on your shoulder. Reach over and grab the hose, spray the inside of this copper screen. Turn around to the hot, dry dye behind you. Take the hot piece off and set it on the floor. Pick the wet felt up and put it on top of the hot piece. Press this button. Inspect the piece you just took off, stack it, count it. 40 seconds. In the summertime, the temperature in our workstation can range from 100 to 150 degrees. I've taken thermometers and checked it out. I have arthritis in the joints of my fingers and naturally in my shoulder from balancing the wet piece. The hose will sometimes leak and spray back at you. The hydraulic presses leak, so you're slipping on oil. You have the possibility of being burnt every time the wet felt touches the hot dye. You're just engulfed in a cloud of steam every 40 seconds. The tank runs 24 hours a day. I work 8 straight hours with 2 10-minute breaks and 1 20-minute break for lunch. I find it difficult to eat my lunch in that amount of time. 40 seconds. Granddad was a sailor, and he blew in off the water. My father was a farmer, and I his only daughter. I took up with a no-good mill-working man from Massachusetts who died from too much whiskey and leaves me these 3 faces to feed. Mill work ain't easy, mill work ain't hard. Mill work most often is a goddamn awful boring job, and I'm waiting for a daydream to take me through the morning and put me in my coffee break so I can have my sandwich and remember it's me and my machine for the rest of the morning, for the rest of the afternoon, and the rest of my life. They can't keep men on the tanks. They say it's too monotonous. I think women adjust better to monotony than men because they're used to doing 2 things at once, whereas a man can only think of 1 thing at a time. A woman can listen to a child while she's doing something else. It's the same way on the tanks. You get to be automatic in what you're doing while your mind is somewhere else. My mind begins to wander to my days back on the farm, and I can see my father smiling at me, swinging on his arm, and I can hear my granddad's stories of the storms out on Lake Erie, vessels and cargoes, fortunes and sailors' lives were lost. My life has been wasted, and I have been a fool to let this manufacturer use my body for a tool. I get to ride home in the evenings, staring at my hands, swearing by my sorrow that a young girl ought to stand a better chance. And may I work this mill just as long as I am able, and never meet the man whose name is on the label. It's me and my machine for the rest of the morning, for the rest of the afternoon gone, and the rest of my they may be closing our factory soon. I guess it's cheaper to make luggage overseas somewhere.
We have sites in China, we have sites in mainland Europe, Germany, and France. We have multiple sites in the US. All of our IT that works on building these structures are based in India.
We're all just hoping to hold on to our jobs for as long as we can. You wish you didn't have to work in a factory, but when that's all you know how to do, that's what you do.
When I was 5, my family moved to a little suburb of Paris, and I got the opportunity of a lifetime. My mom showed me all these wonderful things, cathedrals, the Louvre, just everything. I was a sponge. I just couldn't get enough of cathedrals. I don't think I ever thought of another path after that. I just fell in love with architecture. My favorite spaces are spaces that have real heart to them, where people can love them. In June 2001, I got a really wonderful spread in the Washington Post. I was on a shoot for HGTV's Dream Builders, flying high, really busy. And then my brother was killed. He was in the plane that crashed into the Pentagon, and at that moment, I couldn't do architecture anymore. I was useless. And so I had to go and tell all the clients who had been waiting for me, I'm not the same person you hired. I can't do this. And I was just trying to figure out how to live again.
He built a house with his hands. 30 years go by, it stands where nothing stood, a house of stone. The mason sleeps real good.
It's a pretty good day for laying stone. You get interested in what you're doing and you usually fight the clock the other way. You're not looking for quitting. You're wondering, it's almost quitting time and you haven't gotten enough done.
I want to be a creative person. I can't not be a creative person. To me, not being creative is like a death. I started to work through it with an art therapist who looked at my art and observed, this is a cathedral, and this is a cathedral. And I came to realize that what I wanted to create was a heightened way of living.
There's not a house in this country I don't look at every time I go by. And if there's one stone crooked, I notice it. People that lives there, they don't notice it, but I notice it. Stone's my business. Stone's my life. I dream all the time about stone.
He does his work day flies. Quitting time's a big surprise. And then it's one more stone to get just right. It's always one more stone before the night. Every house he builds, every stone he lays, it's not just making money and counting off the days.
You see, when my brother died, the family was disrupted, and I started to create big open spaces where families gather.
Someday, I'm gonna build me a stone cabin down by the Green River. I'm gonna build stone cabinets in the kitchen. Everything's stone. Stone front door. Now that's gonna be pretty heavy. Seems like all my dreams gotta have a piece of rock mixed up in them.
I figure the more we break down barriers in our lives about who we are, about who we want to be, the better off we all are. My hope is that in these spaces, people will learn to honor and love each other. So I got back to design. I began to live again.
She built a house with her hands. 100 years go by, it stands. It tells you who he was. A life goes fast, but the work a mason does, it's made to last. The work a mason does.
There ain't nothing on this earth that's gonna last forever. But with stone, you're getting pretty close.
It's made to last.
I wake up at 7:30 in the morning, not because I want to, because my dog, my boss, decides it's time. So we go for a walk, and already I'm thinking, should I be filming this? Because if I film this, it could do numbers. A guy, a dog, morning light, boom, viral. But I don't. Because sometimes I just want to be a guy walking his dog, not a brand. I grew up being told to get a real job, stable job, benefits, something that doesn't disappear if an app crashes. So I listened. I taught English in Korea. I consulted in New York City. I wore a lanyard. I had meetings about meetings. And then one day, I got paid to show up somewhere. And they paid me almost half my entire yearly salary for one event. And I remember thinking, wow, either I've completely misunderstood money, or I need to quit my job. So I quit the next day. Very professional, very stable. People love to tell me this isn't real work. And every time they say that, I think, oh, you're dumb, respectfully. Because here's what no one sees. I spend 8-10 hours a day working just to go on my phone and convince myself I didn't do enough. Because someone else posted more, someone else went viral, someone else is happier, hotter, richer, and somehow always on vacation. And suddenly I'm exhausted from doing nothing but comparing myself to people I don't even know. And still, I love it. Because my friends hate their jobs. They sit in offices they can't escape. They study for years just to realize they chose wrong. And yeah, this job is weird and exhausting, and sometimes I don't know where my real self ends and my online self begins. But I get to wake up every day, and I get to tell stories. I get to make people laugh. I get to connect cultures, languages, food, humor. And for the first time in my life, the thing that people told me to tone down, the talking, the attention, the confidence, turns out that's the job. So yeah, maybe this isn't real work, but it's my work. And honestly, I wouldn't trade it for anything.
I'm the CEO of a nonprofit. I've held multiple positions. I've worked there for 36 years. I do a lot of advocacy, particularly during the Maryland General Assembly sessions, meeting with legislators. I mainly focus on the intellectual and developmental disabilities community, IDD. I sometimes have to testify in front of legislators so that they can hear different sides of an issue. I also do a lot with business operations, how to move the needle so that our programs are more inclusive, having fewer programs for people with disabilities and more that are for everybody, because everybody just happens to include people with disabilities. But there's also a lot of things we work on collaboratively as a team. You know, I don't think people realize that as the CEO of a nonprofit, there's a lot of weight on your shoulders, where you really need to make sure that your organization is meeting its mission or providing support or service or whatever your organization's thing is, that you're doing that for the people that you were created to make the world a better place for. You know, people who don't understand might say, oh, this person will never be able to live on their own, they'll never have a job, and now 15 years later, they've done all of that, and they've built a life for themselves. You know, as I've gotten older, I think this has become more of a social justice issue, maybe one of the last social justice issues, especially for people with intellectual and developmental disabilities, or invisible disabilities. You know, when I think when the general public hears the word disability, they just think of somebody in a wheelchair. I think it's justice. It's a desire for everyone to have somewhere where they belong, where they're valued and respected.
Good evening, my lord. What's exciting at the bar that I can offer? It would be boring if I had to say, would you like a cocktail? Over and over. So I come out different.
For my own enjoyment, I say, what's exciting at the bar that I can offer, my lord? Or something. Maybe with cocktails, I give them a little philosophy. They have coffee, I give them a little political science. I have an opinion on every single subject there is. My bosses don't like it. They say I have to speak sotto voce. But if I get heated, I don't give a damn. I speak like an Italian speaks. I have to be a waitress. How else does the world come to me? Everyone has to eat, everyone has hunger, and I serve them. I give service. I can't be servile. There is a difference. I get intoxicated with giving service. It becomes theatrical, and I feel like Mata Hari, and it intoxicates me. I'm on stage. Their summers don't care when they put down a plate. There's a sound, not with me. When they move a chair, it'll scrape with a grate on the ground. Not with me. I will have my hand right when I place a glass. Notice how I stand right as customers pass. Serve a demi-tasse or a vodka martini with grace rarely seen, even matched by Puccini. Da 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 da. It's an art to be a fine waitress, to see that you pleasure each guest. There's a twist to my wrist when I bring your steak in, and watch how I take in your liver and bacon. It all will be stylish and smart. That's what makes it an art. I remember one day, as I do now and then, I had shakes. Down I went, there with my tray full of coffees and cordials and cakes. Down I went, but I kept my poise, not one guest heard me fall. Never made a noise, not one noise, food and all. If you have to crawl, you give them what they like. You carry your tray like it's almost ballet-like. It's an art to be a fine waitress. Each evening I treasure the test. Like tonight was a fight, cause they had this busboy, this clothes all a must boy, and guests heard him cuss, boy, did we have a quick heart to heart. Even that is an art. Tips? Ha! Tips are important to people like captains and barmen. For them, it's a tipsy. For me, I'm a gypsy. Just toss me a coin, and I suddenly feel like I've got it. So on through the ulcer, the backache, the hot, sweaty feet. On you go. Through is your knife, dosa, and Madam wants what with her meat? On you go. 2 a.m. approaches, the curtains descend. There, among the roaches, my axe at an end. Every night I tend to find myself crying. There's no work so trying or so satisfying. I tell everyone that I'm a waitress and I'm proud. When someone says to me, hey, you're terrific, how come you're just a waitress? You know what I say to them? I say, why? Don't you think you deserve to be served by me? It's an art to be a great waitress. Do without leisure or rest. So I zoom through the room to the flat no one else has. And no one else has. I swear, no one else has my lilt. When I say see, it gives me a glow. Every time I prove I'm a pro. Maybe I'm not quite like Michelangelo, but I'm not just a waitress. I'm a waitress. 16 years here, I took a trip to Hawaii for 2 weeks with my lover. My eldest daughter said, "Act your age." You know what I said? I said, "Honey, if I was acting my age, I wouldn't be walking." Not after 16 years on this job.
First 2 years, when I retired, I was downhearted. Had no place to go, nothing to do. Then I gave myself a good going over. Joe, I said, you can't just sit around like that and waste your time. You gotta get out and do things. Well, the day goes by pretty fast for me now. I don't daydream at all. I just think of some and forget it. That daydreaming, it don't do you no good. Keep busy, keep moving. That's the trick. You'll wake at 10, fold up the bed. You don't want to leave your couch open all day, you know, it's depressing. You cook an egg, you toast some bread, you cook for yourself, you save a bundle. You don't keep track of your money, who will? You think about the day ahead. You don't go feeling sorry for yourself. It's like I said, you can either sit at home and be mad at the world, or you can get out and do things. You take a walk, you meet a chum. This one guy lives down by National Biscuit. Boy, you should see the nice aroma. You shoot the bull, you argue some, and maybe calls up a couple of other fellas. Come over, play some poker. You lose at gin until they come. This guy remembers what cards you picked up. The dirty bum. But even getting beat at gin beats doing nothing. You take a bus, you take a train, you go visit your wife's grave. On the way, you read the Reader's Digest. It does you good to use your brain, or maybe you go visit your cousin. You bring a six-pack along. You take a stroll down memory lane. When we was young, we was always together. And raising Cain, we go back a long ways, him and me, all the times we had. I remember once, back in '72, we were at this fair with these girls we knew, on this crazy ride where you screamed or you prayed. The Big Dipper, they called it. We could hardly walk as we left the car, so we staggered down for a candy bar, and we sat and laughed in the penny arcade. At 6 o'clock, you'll watch the news. Them politicians get you so mad, you throw your slippers at the set. You cook some Franks, no big to-dos. Most nights you lay around, you straighten up, maybe you call your daughter. You watch a game, you take a snooze, but then there's Sunday. Sunday's different. You change your shirt and shine your shoes, cause you're going around the block to the tavern. You shoot some pool, you drink some beer. You don't have to drink a lot to have a good time, maybe 3, 4 in an evening. You find a pal, you bend his ear. You meet a lot of your old crowd there Sunday, sometimes a bunch of you sing the kind of song you never hear, like My Girl or Super Freak. And then you cheer. Last Sunday night we sang Stand By Me. Believe it or not, I once did a waltz to that tune. Yeah, honest to God. It was Dada Dance, I was 17, and the girl was like from a magazine, and the lights were low, and I really mean low. I think a couple of my friends had something to do with that. And I kissed her cheek as we waltzed away. I remember that like it's yesterday. Boy, was she surprised. I could hear her say, Joe. They drive you home from round the block. You take the cash out of your sock. You fix the bed, you check the lock. You wind the clock. When I retired, a lot of people told me, Joe, you got your health. You shouldn't have done it. But it was too late. I don't know why I retired, really. Just a habit, I guess. But I got no regrets. Keep busy, keep traveling. No regrets.
Losing a grandfather at home to hospice and seeing the hospice nurses provide care and education to my family during that time, I thought, you know what? I definitely want to do this someday. Now, my role is to visit patients in their homes and assess symptoms, concerns, questions, and challenges they may be facing. I let them know how much we care and that we want to hear from them about their life and what their goals are, what their hopes are. And then we'll get behind that and support that. Now, before this, I was primarily working on pediatric hospice. When it comes to the dying process, these children are incredibly wise. Quite often, they are the ones who are able to get their parents on the dying page. They may say, I'm not going back for treatments tomorrow, Mom. I'm going to a birthday party in heaven. There's so many neat things that our patients teach us. The importance of seizing the moment. He had a very good day today. We went down to the senior center just a mile away. Some days he only wants to stay at home, but on Tuesdays they play music and they dance. You should have seen him dance. They were playing Spanish music. He's a ham, he likes to make the nurses smile. Some days he can't remember who I am, but today he was lucid for a little while. Through it all, I take his pulse, I change his clothes. Where are his children? Heaven knows. It doesn't pay much, but I get through because I do the work that no one else will do.
She had a very good day today. We went down to the nearby park, just a mile away. She's only 5, but she can do it all. And today we took her scooter for a ride. You should have seen her glide, and I was terrified. I spent the afternoon just running by her side. The sun came down and then I brought her home. Her parents work late, I tuck her in each night. And I sing, Mahal kita, minamahal kita, mahal na mahal kita, till she's asleep. She says I love you, and I love her too. Well, I do all the work her mother doesn't do.
I have a family of my own.
I have a daughter back at home.
I send whatever I can
with no one singing her to sleep.
And sometimes I close my eyes
and imagine I am there. Mahal kita,
duérmete,
minamahal kita.
Hasta la madrugada, duérmete.
Mahal
We
kita,
had a very good day
minamahal kita.
today. We went down to the senior center, just a
mahal
mile
kita.
away. One day my dreams are gonna all come true. For now I do what no one wants to do. For now I do what no one wants to do.
You go in there and it's dark. Smoke's pouring out the goddamn building. It all happens really fast. I feel this tremendous heat to my left. I turn around and the whole room's orange yellow. You can just see the orange and feel the heat. The lieutenant and the other firemen got the ladder up and saved 2 people. But downstairs, there was this guy trying to get out the door. They had bolts on the door. He was burnt dead. And you know what the lead man said?
We lost the guy. Shit, we lost the guy.
You saved 2 people. How would you know there's a guy sleeping on the pool table?
Yeah, but we still lost the guy.
I always wanted to be a fireman. Hey, lots of guys want to be firemen. It's like kids. Everybody's still a kid. Guys 40 years old still feel like kids inside, except starting to lose their hair. I used to be a cop. Know why I switched to fireman? I liked people. And sometimes when I was a cop, I would feel the hate coming into me. I remember this one time, I went to the roof of this project and there was this big black guy about 6'7" at the top of the stairs. He had his back to me. I said, "Hey fella, turn around." He said, "Yeah, wait a minute." His elbow was moving around his belt. I said, "Hey fella, turn around a minute." It dawned on me then that he had a gun caught in his pocket and he was trying to get it out. I took out my gun and I said, "I'm gonna shoot!" He threw his hands up against the wall. He was peeing and he was trying to zip up his fly. So here was this guy relieving himself, and maybe a lot of guys would have shot him. So I said, "I could have killed you." And he started shaking, and the gun in my hand was shaking too. I said, "Just get the hell out of here." So I took the fire department test in 2010 and got called back in 2011. A lot of jobs are corrupt in America, but the firemen, you actually see them produce. You see them put out the fire. You see them come out of burning buildings with babies in their hands. You see them give mouth to mouth when a guy's dying. You can't get around that shit. That's real. I can look back and say, I helped put out the fire. I helped save someone. Somebody can be born, somebody can grow old because of me. It shows something I did on this earth.
You know what I always wanted to do? I wanted to play the piano. That's what I really wanted. And I'd write songs and things of my life growing up in India and my amma and my amama. Now I got my own beautiful daughter and I got plans for her. So I leave my home every morning and scrub rooms up at the Marriott. Every night I come here to this office and it's scrubbing again. For generations, that's all we done. Scrubbing, my amma and me. But my daughter, she is not gonna do no domestic work. I aim to be the end of that particular line. Amma worked just like her amma before her. Domestic working was the trade. There was laundress, cook, and a living help. Thursday girl, babysitter, and a hotel maid. They worked 6 days a week, all day long, and never could get out of debt. Those were the days when the minimum wage was anything I could get. There was cleaning women without faces, coming and going on a first day basis. You're talking to somebody who knows, somebody who knows. Too many years, Lord, I don't wanna be in any laundry room. Oh no, I don't wanna hold another goddamn broom one of these days. One of these days, just wanna sleep till noon. All day long I'm thinking, my kids up in the street somewhere, and the folks up in their rooms don't think you're thinking half the time. Always talking around you like you ain't even there. It's getting so something to my mind. Oh Lord, got a daughter with a head on her shoulder and pretty as a flip to do. She ain't gonna hide that pretty face behind closed she's down and I pray. No more cleaning women without faces. No, no, she's gonna walk in on this last name basis. She'll be the first in this family to have a face you can see. Lord, she ain't gonna be in any laundry room. Well, she'll weep and she'll be pushing her own broom. Someday never come when she can sleep till noon, but long as she can get up singing her own tune. For me that day, Lord, for me that day can't come too soon. I'm a part of 4 generations of cleaning women. But my daughter, she is a whole new generation. That's what we got coming up today. A whole new generation.
Maybe it's a generational thing, but in my senior year of high school, I was all set for college, but I didn't want to go. My advisor sort of realized, so what does he do? He pulls out a pamphlet titled Rustic Pathways and was like, here, take a look at this. The first page I opened had a picture of a little island and read Fiji. So I went, that sounds pretty cool. So I took a gap year. I spent 3 months in Fiji and later 3 months in Thailand, and man, it was eye-opening. I spent time in a pretty remote highland village about 3 hours from town. It didn't have electricity, it didn't have running water, and the one thing that really hit home to me was just how happy the people were there. The community. In the US, it feels like we're born into this society where we live to work, right? Like a corporate America. We're getting up and we're working for $1, right? Like, that's society here. But over there in Fiji, it's different. Every task you do is putting food directly on your table. It's working to live, not living to work like over here. I thought maybe I could take that with me moving forward. I eventually graduated from college, and now I'm the landlord for some mixed-use buildings in Manhattan. We all hold so many misconceptions about each other because very few people actually take the time to get to know one another and talk to each other. Like, people say that landlords just don't care and all they're doing is just money grabbing and things like that. But even though there are landlords and people in general who do that, there's still humanity to this job, And the community aspect of things still exists, and it's important.
I'm 31 and I've been in the federal government for 2 years now.
I'm retired, but I used to be a lobbyist. I created and advocated funds for a research program at the Department of Defense. It focused on vision loss for battlefield trauma and combat for our troops, which had never been funded before until now.
I'm very young in the agency where I work. There's nobody at my level, no peers to help me learn the ropes. Everyone's much further along in their career.
I helped my company raise funds from $3 million to $20 million, and then I left. Now that Congress is such a mess, I'm glad I'm gone. I clearly made the right move getting out of there at that time.
And then being a woman in science, biology, yeah, it's definitely a thing. I'm often challenging myself more than I think people expect me to because I'm comparing myself to people who have been here 10, 15 years. I'm like, why don't I already know all this stuff? And then I have to remind myself that I've been at this job for 2 years. So all that competition, it's all in my head. It's internal. It was isolating being new all alone, but I've come to appreciate that we're a team. When you're in biology, I could go work for big pharma or some other industry and make way more money than I'm going to make in the federal government. But really, me and a lot of my coworkers, we do this because we're passionate about it. And we really care about the mission. We care about protecting the public and the people. And that's what really drives us to come in every day to do this job.
My program has been zeroed out by Congress. They're no longer funding it. I had no idea this was going to happen until I left. They're showing no concern for troops who are losing their vision and eyesight in combat. They really just said they don't care anymore. They don't care about the public and the people. They don't care for those troops who are actively losing their vision and eyesight in combat. I worked my butt off every year to increase the funding. It was so important to me. The one thing I could point my finger at the world and say, I did this. I created this, I got it funded, and I got its funds grown from $3 million to $20 million. And then Congress ruined it. Besides the fact that it's an insult to our troops, it's all my years of work down the drain.
I started a new role at a healthcare organization, and it's the same organization that my father works for. And I've always thought my dad is so wonderful and so great, but now I'm really learning about the impact that he has on others. And anyway, it's just been so great to see him go out of his way to help people in the organization and to be there, to be a moral compass and just really be such a positive impact for change.
I've heard a lot of songs say where you going, my son. Now I know they're true. Boy, you never stop to think how fast the years run. Now they've taken you. I remember you was 3.5. Your mom and me, we'd sit there after things got quieted. We'd laugh at some new word you said, how tough you were to get to bed, and we'd plan the night away, planning for our kid. I was your hero. Couldn't do no wrong as far as you were concerned. You thought I was the best of men. The tables hadn't turned, you hadn't learned how little time it takes. And daddies make mistakes. Seems to me that lately I've been thinking a lot. I think about my dad. Lots of funny things come back I thought I'd forgot. Now they make me sad. High school and it used to be, I didn't want him touching me and I shuddered. Further back to summer nights, baseball games beneath the lights, and sleeping in the car. My daddy and his kid. He was my hero then. He couldn't do no wrong as far as I was concerned. I thought the wisest and strongest and the best of men. The tables hadn't turned, I hadn't learned how little time it takes. And everybody breaks, and daddies make mistakes. This may sound square, but my kid is my imprint, you know what I mean? This is why I work. Every time I see a smart young guy walking by, I'm looking at my kid. You know what I want? I want my kid to tell me that he's not gonna be like me. Yeah, I want him to come up to me and say, hey, Dad, you're a nice guy, but you're a fucking dummy. Hell yeah. If you can't improve yourself, you improve your posterity. Otherwise, life isn't worth living. You may as well go back to the cave and stay there. You know, I'm sure the first caveman who went over the hill to see what was on the other side, he didn't go there wholly out of curiosity, no. No, he went there because he wanted to get his son out of the cave. I've heard a lot of songs say where you going, my son. Now I know that for real. Boy, you never stop to think how fast the years run. The thing you say still. Now it seems I always knew why I do the things I do and the things I never did.
I do the things I do.
Why I work my whole damn life so I could give a better life than the one my dad could give me. I give it to my kid.
If I could have been what I could have been, I could have been something.
I wanted to be a writer.
A Major League Baseball player.
Own a little farm.
If what I could be had been left to me, I could have been something.
But then I got married.
Then the kids came along.
But then my dad took sick.
A tower of strength, a center of power,
at $10 an hour.
You know, there's always a stumbling block. Yeah, I was gonna work for a few years, buy me a car, and head west. Well, then I met the wife, and that kinda changed my plans. You never know what you would've did.
If I could have done what I could have done, I would have done big things.
With some luck to do what I wanted to, I would have done big things. Swam a few rivers,
Climbed a few hills, paid all my bills.
Now it's just dreams that I'm stuck with, and hell, that ain't a lot to show.
haven't gone far from the starting line, but deep down inside, when it counts, I know that if I could have gone where I could have gone, I would have gone places. With way to go, far as I could go, I would have gone places.
could have been. I could have been something. I could have been someone. I could have gone somewhere someday.
See, it's not just the work. Somebody built the pyramids.
The pyramids, the Sears Towers, those things didn't just happen.
Seeing something being built from nothing is inspiring. Like something's a parking lot. Now I can drive through Baltimore and point at a skyscraper and go, I built that.
The sort of tangible win is an FDA approval. Getting a product that you sort of started from the beginning and seeing it on the market. Being able to walk into CVS and you can see your product right there.
I don't care how little you did. If you worked on a road, you say, I worked on this road.
You see a bridge and you say, I worked on that bridge. Picasso can point to a painting.
A writer can point to a book.
What can I point to?
Everyone should have something to point to.
You know what I want? I would like to see a building, say, the Empire State Building. I would like to see on one side of it a foot-wide strip from top to bottom with the names of every person who's ever worked in or on that building. Every name. So that when a guy walks by, he can take his son, take his daughter, and say, see that building.
I was the one that did the design. I was the one that drafted the plans.
Every detail in every line.
See that building. I ran the crane that lifted the beam. I was the gal that worked up above.
Look at those bricks are mine.
Every detail in every line.
See that building.
Look how my door hangs in the frame.
See that building.
40 flights up, I scratched my name.
See that building.
I'm on the staff, I worked as a guard. I clean the floors and I clean them good. People don't know my job is hard.
See that building.
5 days a week, I work at a desk.
I do the books.
I handle the mail.
9 on the dot, I punch my card.
See that window.
One by the ledge.
10 from the top.
See that window.
Count from the left.
1, 2, 3, stop. That's where I work. Everyone should have something to point to, something to be proud of. Look what I did, see what I've done. I did the job, I was the one. Everyone should have something to point to, some way to be tall in the crowd. See that building, day after day after day after day. That's where I put myself on the line. That's where I sweat to earn my pay. See that building. That's where I put the food on my plate. That's where I lived a piece of my life, where I can bring my kids and say, see that building. The logo was cut, the cement tomato. See that building. The logo was cut, the sign was surveyed, the landlord was records are kept, the office is run, the coffee is sold, the digging was